Welcome to Bible study. I'm glad that everyone's here. So last week I asked you guys, I told you guys that we're going to be stopping doing the Mayberry Bible study. And we're going to stop in June. And I gave you 5 different books of the Bible to choose from. We have Ruth, we have Jonah, we have Malachi, we have Haggai, and we have Joel. Did anybody think about what book they would like to go through? Yes, a couple. What did you say, Annabelle? Malachi? Okay.
Not Ruth.
Yeah.
Jay did a really good presentation of
We've
Ruth.
done Jonah and Ruth,
Okay.
and we did Ruth and Malachi.
You go for Malachi, so that's 2 for Malachi. That wasn't one of them. 3 for Malachi.
We just finished Genesis. No.
We know about
Joel, 1 for Joel.
We're getting ready to start Numbers.
I never really haven't read that.
Yeah, Joel's a very obscure one that not many people go through.
I'll go with the majority.
You'll go with the majority. I know that Bill said he would like to see Haggai. So that's 1 for Haggai. So we have 3 for Malachi, 1 for Joel, 1 for Haggai.
No.
Malachi? Okay. Joel? 2 there.
Joe.
Joel?
No, not Joe.
Not Job.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was not one of the others.
Okay, all
That
right.
wasn't one of the choices.
Malachi.
Malachi, okay. So far, Malachi. Okay, another one for Malachi. Okay, Malachi.
One for me.
I think Malachi. Okay.
Malachi.
All right, so it looks like Malachi is what we're going to be doing.
I'm for whatever Jim don't want.
You're for whatever Jim doesn't want. So Jim wanted Malachi. So,
Okay.
so just so you guys know, like a little brief summary of Malachi. Malachi is a prophetic message calling the people of Israel and their priests to renewed faithfulness. It addresses issues such as improper worship, social injustice, and the coming day of the Lord. And promising both judgment and blessing. Basically, if you think about it, it's talking about the world today. Because there's a lot of improper worship, there's a lot of social injustice, and we are still talking about the coming of the Lord. And we're still looking forward to that day. So, okay, so when we start in June, we will be doing Malachi. All right. Couple of different announcements. Our silent auction is over. 3 of the 4 paintings were bid on and were taken. So we have 1 that's still here for the church. And so we'll be putting that up at Christmas time. And the other ones, so we raised about $400 with them. So that's very good. So that's over and done with. Different prayer requests. Please continue to keep Pam in your prayers and Jay in your prayers, because he doesn't like to tell everybody, but he has a hard time walking and he has a lot of issues going on over there. So keep Jay in your prayers. With me, I will be having surgery. So it's not going to be, I found out that today. So it was supposed to be this coming Friday. But they decided, the anesthesiologist wants me off of a certain medication for at least 7 days. So they haven't called me and told me for sure, but they are almost positive I'm going to be going in next Thursday. So with saying that, we are not going to be moving up here that weekend. It will be moving up the next weekend. So if anybody would like to help us move, it's going to be May 30th is when we're going to be moving up. And I'll give you more information about when and times and that type of thing. It's a jaw. I can still pick things up. I know that. So the prayer is this, that when they go in there, that they are able to go through the mouth still. If not, they have to go through the jawline down here. And there's a lot of other complications that come from that. So that's the prayer now. God's got this. I know that. You guys know that. Just keep me in prayer. There is, let's see, July 27th through the 30th, just to give you a little more of a heads up. There's a family camp over at Hillsboro called Person to Person Ministries. And as a group on that Wednesday, which is Wednesday the 29th, we are going to go over to the camp for their main session. And their session starts at 7 o'clock and it goes a little bit later. It goes till 9 o'clock. And so we'll be coming back after that. It's a worship service. We'll have worship. We'll have 2 speakers. We'll have special music. It's a good time. That's what we're going to be doing. Just again to keep you guys keep a little bit of heads up. That'll be on Wednesday the 29th. Huh? I'm going to get there. I'm personally am looking at going on Sunday as well. If anybody would like to join me, you are more than welcome to. Sunday night, it's a Sunday evening rally. Starts at 7 p.m. What they've done in the past is they've either met over there or they met at Ponderosa first, ate at Ponderosa, and then went to the camp. So I'm down for anything. If you want to eat afterwards, I'm good with that too. Oh, we'll see if I can eat at that point. But yeah, we're looking at going down there at least those 2 days, Sunday, July 26th and Wednesday, July 29th. The main speaker on the 29th, there's 2 speakers. We have Mike Reif and we also have Bob Russell. Both of them are very good speakers. I've heard both of them many times. So it's going to be a good night. The worship on Sunday is led by Art Bush and then Steve Foster and the Family Camp Band. So it'll be a good time as well. If you want to know any of the other speakers or any of the other nights that are of things going on, it will be on that board out there. Just look for this piece of paper right here. I'm probably going to go down more than just the 2 times. I'm not sure. It depends on my family. So, but at least we are going down those 2 times. I think that's about it. Sawdust and Souls has been it got canceled for this month. Yes.
June the 28th, which is the last Sunday of June, we'll have a picnic with the Favens.
Okay.
Up at our house, and you're invited to come to be a part of that.
June 29th, Sunday, picnic with Favens, 5 o'clock.
We'll first meet and drink.
And you'll see it on the announcements all the time coming up to it. So we'll have that. We are still looking at doing the picnic we did last year in September. We're looking at doing that again this year. I'm still looking at September to do it, but I'll let you guys know with that coming up. There's multiple things going on throughout our town. There's all the different churches are doing multiple different things. I know Good Shepherd is looking at having a community picnic in July, I believe. And they're trying to have it in the Community Action parking lot, and they want all churches to be a part of it. So it's just a good way of building connections with other people. Relationships and time of fellowship that should be a number 1 key in our lives. So if you guys would like to go to any of the different things, please, like I said, let me know, and I can let you know what we have going on. Other than that, we are going through Mayberry again, and this one we are doing is called Quiet Sam. So let's hit it.
We'll kill the old Andrews.
Since when does Andy smoke? I've never seen Andy smoke in any of them I've ever watched. Yeah, he only had one cigarette in his pocket. No, I know it wasn't. I know that. So here we have Quiet Sam. You know, here's a person that was just, he was busy. He was worried about his wife. He wanted to get home to his wife and take care of her. But Barney saw something different. Barney saw suspicion. Barney saw being quiet as evidence that he's doing something wrong. You know, in this one, Barney sees Sam Becker's quietness as evidence of wrongdoing. Yes?
What else is new with Barney?
If there's ever anything that happens, it's always with Barney. He's always the one that's suspicious, always the one that has these things. But what assumptions do you tend to make when someone is different? And we've talked about this before in here. We've talked about strangers. We've talked about different people looking different than you. But in this one, it's a little bit different because he's just a regular person. Everybody knows him. They just don't know a lot about him because he's quiet. How many of you are quiet in your lives? My wife she's not quiet, but she can be a little shy. She doesn't like to meet new people at times. And so people look at that as other things. They have suspicions. I know growing up, there was a lady I knew at a church that I thought she was one of the most stuck-up people I've ever met. Turns out she was just quiet and shy. And, you know, once I got to know her, it was a different story. You know, we often assume that being quiet means unfriendly, or different means unsafe, or private means hiding something. Like Barney, you know, we can confuse the unfamiliar with suspicious. I know even when people come into church for the first time, people tend to look at strangers as, why are they here? Or they're not a part of our church. Why are they here? Cliques are one of the most horrible things I've ever seen, and churches are full of them. We tend to stick with what we know. We tend to stick with the people we know. We tend to stick with, oh, I got to get here on Sunday morning so I can get my favorite seat. This is my seat. No one else can sit here. This is mine, 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 mine. I know everybody around me, and I'm going to talk to everybody around me, but that's it. We can't be like that. Our church is a very friendly church. Don't get me wrong. I've had multiple people that have come into our church tell me that. And I know most of you here can say the same thing. When you've shown up here, people are friendly. People want to talk to you. And that's fantastic. But churches are known for being cliques and Christian country clubs. And if I walk into a church, I'm going to burn. People need to understand that we're just like everybody else. And we want people to be here. We want strangers to be here because that's the only way they're going to know who God is if people tell them. And if they aren't invited into a church, that to me is horrible. Everybody should be welcome at our church, no matter who they are, no matter what they look like, no matter if they're quiet, no matter if they're loud. Anybody is welcome. That's why we have that big yellow chair out there. It's to let people know that we always have room for one more. You know, if you see someone that is unfamiliar, I know we've talked about this before about going up and introducing yourself to people and talking to other people. And some people say they're shy and they don't want to do that. But if you see a stranger, if you see someone, especially at church, someone that is new, and you're afraid to go up to them, then they're going to look at you as rude. You know, it sets a bad tone. First impressions are a very big thing, especially in church. You know, in James chapter 1, verse 19, it says this. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Which part of those is the hardest for you?
Wrath,
Huh?
wrath, especially when somebody's tailgating me.
So slow to become angry is the hard one for you.
I get a little upset.
What about the rest of you? Which one is hard? Is it quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry? I know at times for me, especially on Sunday mornings, which is it's a busy time. If someone wants to come and talk to me, there are times that I find myself thinking about what else is going on or where else I should be, what else I should be doing, instead of truly listening to that person. And that's something that I am constantly trying to work at, because as a minister or just as a Christian, as a fellow brother in Christ, I want all of you guys to know I'm there for every one of you. If you guys need to talk, even if it's on Sunday morning, I want to be there for you. Yes, I do have other things I have to do on Sunday morning, but
You're a good hugger.
thank you.
You're welcome.
But what about the rest of you? What's Bernie?
Well, not to change the subject,
Yeah.
but it says, what assumption do you make?
Yeah.
A lot of people judge you by your hair,
Oh yeah, they do.
by your beard,
Mm-hmm.
whether you got a tie on, or
Whether you have tattoos or not,
whether you got tattoos.
how you dress.
I mean, people are quick to judge.
Oh yeah. And the sad thing is that happens more in church than other places. I'll get to you in a minute, Annabelle. There's a story I heard about a guy. It was his first time at church. And he walked in with his wife, and he heard these people talking about those people over there, and these people talking about those people over there. And during the service, his phone, he forgot to turn it off, and it went off. And he quickly shut it off, but he heard people grumbling about it and people snickering about it. And after the service, the minister actually mentioned it to him. And he looked at his wife and said, I don't ever want to go back there again. He ended up going to a new bar. And as he went there, he's sitting at the counter, and the waitress was coming over to give him his drink. And he took it and it stumbled and fell on the ground. And this bigger guy came walking up to him and said, hey, are you okay? Here, let me help you with that. Someone else said, hey, let me buy you another drink. Someone else said, hey, what can I do? Are you okay? He kept going back there because he was more comfortable. They were nicer to him than they were in church. First impressions are everything. And it's a hard thing. Annabelle, then you. Yeah, Annabelle.
I'm too quick to speak, and often I speak for the other person. I mean, if they don't say something, I speak for them.
That's a hard one to do too. Yes.
I just want to say that I was here last Sunday.
Mhm.
I always come early.
Yeah.
That's just me. And I like the atmosphere.
Mhm.
So I always come early and I can sit down and it's just really quiet. Nobody's really around yet.
Mhm.
And when I came in, there was this guy, I don't know him from Adam, except his name was Mike.
Hit on a Marvel shirt.
You know, I couldn't tell you. But he talked and talked and talked, followed me around, and was just so friendly and so nice, and I thought, you couldn't go to too many churches and find somebody like that.
No, you can't.
Because the other person probably wouldn't understand what's going on and might shy away from it.
Mhm.
I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah,
We
good.
talked about all kinds of stuff,
Oh, good.
and I don't know him from Adam.
You do now.
There's a newer couple that's been at our church. The guy is in a wheelchair. and it's Rob and Sue. No, I went over to their house and saw them. He's having trouble with a tooth. So I understood. Actually, when I was there, he was asleep. But I talked to Sue, and they said that they missed being here. But in that couple, you know, I'm sitting there trying to talk to them, and Rob's telling me one thing while Sue's starting up on another thing. I'm having two different conversations going on at the same time. But you know what? I sat there and listened to them. And I understand. The one thing I try to do, and I'm very bad at it, so I continue to try, I try to remember people's names. I'm horrible at it, just so you know. There's reasons I call people dear and sir, because I have a hard time with it. And even people I know, I still have a hard time with it. But that's one thing that I try to do, as someone comes in for the first time, I get their name. And then when they come in again, I can remember their name and, you know, talk to them that way. That's one of those first impression things. You know, in our life, we have to be quick to listen. We need to focus on the person, not on what you're going to say next. You know, we need to be slow to speak. We need to pause, ask clarifying questions. Don't fill the silence with assumptions. You know, we need to be slow to anger. Recognize that anger often comes from fear or pride. And in this episode, Barney has everything in it, and Barney was fearful. He was full of fear, and that turned into control. And he was trying to take control of the whole situation. And he's like, these people are bad. I got to go after them. But James 1:9 calls us to do the opposite of that. To be slow to speak, slow to become angry, and quick to listen. I love what I've heard multiple people say. There's a reason God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. You know, in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13, it says, the answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Where are you most tempted to answer before listening? Is it with family? Is it in the workplace? Is it social media? That's a huge one, especially in today's times. Church conversations. Churches are notorious for gossiping. You know, oh, did you see what that person did over there? Oh, I can't believe they look like that. You always see it, and that's one of the worst things that I've seen at a lot of churches. You know, answering before listening shows up as interrupting or assuming something, assuming the tone over what's actually being said. Yeah.
We used to have a guy who went to church here, Dale Robinette, and he used to say, excuse me for talking while you was interrupting. And it made a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. You know, when we need to decide that we need to decide what someone meant before talking about it. You know, one of the worst things is through text. When someone texts you, you can't see the tone, you can't see the inflection behind it, you can't see what they truly mean if they say something, or even if they talk to text and it comes out completely wrong. You have no clue what's going on. And it's horrible. I've been in a lot of bad situations because of text. But it's because you can't tell what the person's really talking about. And it's the same on social media. You know, I've told you guys before, I've been blasted on social media about something I put on there very innocently. And people said that was the most horrible thing I ever wrote, and I can't believe you as a minister would put this. I truly hope that, pretty much, some people were saying, I hope you die. And it's because they didn't understand they thought they understood what I was doing. And I took it as a very innocent thing. But people look at social media as free speech. They look at it as I can say anything I want, and it doesn't matter who's hurt by it. It's my free speech to say whatever I want. We have to be looking at people's hearts. We have to be taking other people into consideration, especially if they come to our church. And think of it this way. If you know someone that's at our church and they happen to see you on social media doing things like this and talking bad about people, what type of representation of our church and of God are you showing? We need to be slow to speak, slow to become angry, and quick to listen in all aspects. Yeah.
One of the things our generation has lost today is the fact that they interrupt a conversation. You know, and that ticks me off quick. I'm talking to somebody walks up and just butts in. It's like, you're not important, I gotta talk to this person. And it's something that our generation seems like it's getting more and more that they just don't pay attention to. I'm on my grandkids a lot about that. But one other thing is that when we do prison ministry, we practice listening. And we talk about the various things that when you go in and sit down at the table with these inmates, they want to talk to you. It's more important for you to listen to what they're saying than for them to listen to you. Because they don't get an opportunity to talk a lot, or anybody listen to them. There are a number to COs, and that's just the way it is. And so for them to be treated that way, for us just sitting and listen to them, our motto is listen, listen, love, love. That's our motto. So we do exercises to practice that among ourselves. We'll split up, just to practice. And so it's one of those things like, Peter says to only be ready to give an answer for the hope that you have. When somebody comes up and says, why are you a Christian? You should be able to answer them. Well, sometimes you've got to sit and think about that. Mm-hmm. How would I answer somebody if they asked me that question? It's the same way with this. If you're going to have a conversation with people, listen to them, then you got to give it some thought. What am I going to do? Am I going to just stand there and think about what I got to get done? Because that's easy to do too. Right. Or am I going to listen to what they have to say? And it's very important to have eye contact with them and listen to them. And that means a lot to that person when you do that.
That's why I like when I do Bible studies on Monday mornings, on ones like this. I want discussion. I don't want to just be up here talking to you guys. I want you guys to discuss amongst yourselves. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I'm nothing special. Yeah, I may be your minister, but I'm just another person. I have my opinions just like you have your opinions. And the only way we're going to get to the truth is if we all talk together about everything. You know, it says in Proverbs 18:13. Well, I said that to answer before listening to this. Barney's imagination turns small details into a case. And soon the whole town, well, actually not even the whole town, just a few in the posse are ready to believe the worst. It says in Exodus 23:1, do not spread false reports. Do not help a guilty person by being a malicious witness. What's the difference about being careful and being suspicious? There's a difference between the two. How do false reports spread today? I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Social media is huge on false reports. News media is huge on false reports.
Suspicion is usually triggered by experience.
Okay.
When you see certain things happening, you're suspicious as to what's going on. The other is triggered by paranoia.
Okay.
You are afraid something bad is going to happen to you, not to the person that is involved in it, because you think that, you know, you're just paranoid that something bad is going to happen.
And see, I look at it the opposite. I look at the paranoid as you being suspicious. I look at the careful as that's fact-based. That's evidence. You're being careful because you have the experience. You know something like that's going on. Suspicion to me is more of the story-based. It's I know what this means, and you have no clue what it means.
Sounds like Barney.
Sounds like Barney, exactly. And because Barney's evidence, most of it was imagination. He had no clue what this guy was doing. He had no clue why he was doing what he was doing. I like the fact when they're at the house, when they're sitting in the police car and the guy's plowing the fields, and the light turns on the police car, and Barney's all, duck! Like, you're in a police car. I think he's going to know something's happening there. In Exodus 23:1, like I said, is do not spread false reports. That warns that even repeating a report can make you a participant in harm. What that means is gossip is deadly. Know the facts before you spread it. I've had that happen multiple times in my life. Either it's been me doing it, not on purpose, but doing it because I thought I knew the facts, or having it been done to me. I had when I was in college, the last college I went to, I stayed in it. It was kind of a halfway house, but it was all college students. A family owned the house, and they were on the 3rd floor. The second story was where the girls were. The main floor was where we can all congregate together, living room, kitchen, that type of thing. And the guys were in the basement. There's about 10 to 12 of us that all lived there. And one of the girls came to me and said, hey, the father has been hitting on me. And I didn't know the whole story. I just heard what this girl said. And after that, the father, he actually ended up taking me to the airport. And I was with another gentleman as well, he told us that he cheated on his wife. And I told him, I said, well, you need to be talking to your wife about this. Don't talk to us about it. And, this is something you guys need. If you want someone to be there to help you, I can be there with you. So I don't have to tell her. I've made my peace with God. I don't have to tell her a thing. That was very concerning to me. And I had actually other higher ups than I was tell me the same thing. Tell me that, husbands and wives keep secrets all the time. Like, not like this. And so it was something and this man actually told me, well, you can tell my wife for me. No, that's not my place. But I had a very hard time staying at that house because I knew this. And so I broke my lease. I got out of the house. And when I left, the wife, she usually was very friendly. She would hardly look at me. I'm like, okay, something's wrong, but I don't know. So I just went on my way. Well, I went and ended up staying somewhere else. And someone else, another girl that lived at that house, came to me and said, the husband's trying to be with me. And I want to tell the wife. Like, well, go tell her. Can you be there with me? Okay. So we found a time that the husband wasn't home, and we went and talked to the wife. And before this lady told the wife anything, the wife looked at me and said, I want to apologize to you. I'm like, why? She's like, well, when you broke your lease, I was told that you were getting out of the house because you had feelings for my younger daughter, which was not the case one bit. And I mean, my jaw just hit the ground. I'm like, if that would have spread past that person, I would have never had a job anywhere in ministry. Even though it was a lie, it was a false report. But because of the person that told her, I assume it was the husband because I don't know. it was something that could have damaged me for life. We all go through it. We all have things like this that happen. We have false reports that happen all the time in this world. Yeah.
Well, there's an old saying that if you see two people with their heads together, they're framing somebody.
Yeah. You know, in my, you guys are going to know all about me and all my past deeds and all this, but my first college I went to, I've always gotten along better with women than I have men. It's just how I was raised and and so when I went to college, I had a lot of friends that were girls. And, you know, I would walk with them and we'd talk and just different things like that. And I was labeled as a player because I was around all these women. And I had girls come up to me and say, I can't talk to you because people have told me bad things about you. I did nothing. It was just hanging out with people. And so you really have to watch and really know what you're saying before you say it to someone. You're laughing. I'm guessing things have happened to you too?
I used to work at Johnson Controls, admin. 6 women would sit at the table with me, no matter where I sat. The guys were jealous, wanted to know why the women were sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And one woman came out and, without being crude, said I was more manly than the women could handle. And it came down to the fact that I knew how to sew, I knew how to cook, I knew how to do all the stuff that so-called women my age knew how to do.
Right.
So I'd be talking recipes, I'd be talking projects, and that kind of stuff.
No, that's not how you do needlepoint. This is how you do needlepoint.
Yes, and yes, he knows how to do a French knot.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I
And
still
so
can't do it.
it was to the point where another woman who wasn't in the group followed me down to a bar in the morning. And I would go down, get a cup of coffee, and then go spend 2.5 days at the Life Squad.
Yeah.
But she followed me and snuck around to find out what I was doing. And it's just that I treated everybody like
Equal.
I did my sister.
Yeah.
You know, you
Not me.
except nicer.
Oh, it's time for us to go. I know we could talk about this forever too. So, you know, just the thing that I want you to understand about this show and about all of this that we've been talking about is assumptions hurt. As Christians, we need to be better. As Christians, we need to guard our words. We need to extend grace, and we need to show up in crises and be there for other people. Slow to speak, slow to become angry, and quick to listen. Let's pray, then we'll sing. Lord, thank you for just being with us, Lord. There is so many things in this world that are not of you, Lord. And Lord, I pray that through this Bible study, through the things we do here at this church, Lord, I pray that we are different. I pray that we are able to show people that we, I don't even know the words, that we're just different than they are, Lord. I pray that they see your light in us. And I pray that they see something different in us, that they are able to then look at us and say, what's wrong with you? Why are you that way? And we can then tell them about you. Lord, guide us. Help us be slow to speak, slow to become angry, and quick to listen, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Have a great night, everyone.